Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Ladybug Lotus, and I have a very important video and a message to share now. I've been triggered emotionally, and that trigger came with a message, as typically my triggers do. And once again, something said, record, speak, get it out, period. We're in the age of we don't have to wait to gather and you got to be here at this building, at this location, on this day, at this time, in this seat, dressed like this. We don't have to do that anymore. That's not what it's about anymore. It's about authenticity. And for me specifically, it's about speaking my authenticity, especially from the places of my passion and my emotion for the sake of my mission. And you know what? I was just triggered in a way of goodness. It was for goodness, because I've been going through my stuff. I've been going through my transition, through this phase of my purpose and my path for the sake of activating me into position for the sake of my mission, which involves healing and rejuvenation of real love and empowerment of authenticity amongst people and restoration of paradise that we are to be granted and had stolen from us for real. There is somebody in this world that, even with all the issues that we've gone through, has made me feel loved like I never have before. And because of so many different problems in this world, from spiritual to medical, emotional, political, our connection and understanding of it has been and is threatened. Now, I'm still like waking up right from the phase of like attacks, and my friend described it as a storm. But you know what, I find myself, I can't help but to say, my friend, this has been the person who other people have described as my only friend. There's been so many issues. I eventually reached a point to where I'm like, I had to separate myself from that friend and from everybody else. And I got a very loving, a message that hit me right in the heart instantly. Instantaneously. Like, soon as I'm reading the message, I didn't even finish the message before tears started coming to my eyes, because I could feel the love that I know is there, that I don't experience in most of my connections, in most of the other areas of my life. And perhaps that is something that triggered forces to really come for me and really for us. Perhaps. I don't know. I'm trusting only really the divine. I'm only trusting the divine. Because what I know now, trust and rust don't rhyme for no reason. Okay, trust will rust. So the only thing that really you are called to really do for real is be true to you. Be true to you. Whatever it is you're here for, be true to it so that everybody can know why you really here, who you really are. But you know, the problem is so many people walk around with masks and they walk around pretending and faking and manipulating, trying to have you think something that's not really the truth, because behind closed doors where you can't see them, they're doing something else. But see, many of us were brought here to this earth with the ability to sense even when we can't see. And what's crazy is I just brought up this topic going over the April, the deception of the powers or the authorities that be or that were regarding the timing of the year and what's going on in terms of April and why we start off with the first day of the month being April Fools. You think that's for no reason? They trying to really fool us for real. And so I broke it down for real by myself. And I mean, I had the video. It's there if you guys want to see it. Don't be April's fool. But then I broke it down some more by myself because that was really in the moment. And so I hadn't really thought it all out. But then it continued because these types of shits unravel over time. These are not like 1 day lessons, 7-day lessons. You know, these types of shits unravel over time, and you have to be connected to the divine so the divine can remove scales from your eyes when time is ready. Because it ain't always the time for everything. Okay, so unraveling some more, and I'm like, oh shit, this makes so much sense. This is really, astrologically speaking, the second month of the year. Astrologically speaking, it's the second month of the year. I'm so done with the confusion and the cunning and the conning of the people who so-called rule this world. I'm irritated by it, because it's like I have never vibed with that energy. Like, oh my God, just tell the fucking truth. What is wrong with, like, or get out of the way, go sit down, be still, stop, shut up. If you're not gonna be truthful and honest, like, what is wrong? And I have so much passion here because I'm also able to think about experiences from my own past, in my own home, shit I saw and witnessed and was a part of, and it was like, and I think about it and it's just like, why? Something said, keep it real, Antoinette. Like, that's what you do. Keep it real. Okay, so like, for example, there's one thing that comes up in my mind, one memory that comes up in my mind. We went to church regularly, okay, every freaking week, multiple times a week. Okay, it was a family situation, my adopted family and all the extended family of that family, right? So we had this thing where, and mind you, I was like a teenager, maybe. Yeah, because these were, okay, yeah, it was a situation where the older kids who were graduating from high school were getting granted some money, like a scholarship from the church, for school, right? As a gift for graduating, a scholarship for college, however they want to use it, right? I remember this. I remember my cousin wasn't there to get her money, and I think the money, it was at least $100. It was a good little amount of money, right? In my mind, oh, okay, somebody gonna make sure she gets it, whatever. I wasn't thinking too much about it because I wasn't thinking that there's anybody in this church building that's thinking that they're going to try to keep her money from her. I'm not thinking that. No, not me as a kid in a church, right? But then we get home, and mind you, this is a cousin who I often see visit the home. She's close to my adopted sister. They're about the same age, right? Like, you would think that they are really friends for real. You know, I don't know if what else was ever going on underneath things, but you know, when I think about that, something tells me, well, don't forget about your mama, your adoptive mama. Don't forget, cause her ways, for real. She could be like a little devil in people's ears sometimes, for real. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I've literally witnessed her whispering in people's ears, like casting spells and shit. Like, what are you doing? For real. And so now that I think about it, I feel like my adopted sister may have, for the most part of her life as well, been under some type of spellish type of shit from my adoptive mom. So anyway, we are all back at home and my cousin comes visit the house, but she's not mentioning the money. She's just visiting. Like I told y'all, she just regularly functioned with us. Like, and I just said it. I'm like, oh hey, I was about to say her name. I don't want to say no names. I'm like, hey, we got your money for your scholarship, whatever. And I promise you, I got one of the most evil looks from my adoptive mother ever. I wasn't supposed to say that. Why? Because they was gonna plan to keep the money. Why? So this person I was raised by, and I don't vibe with her. I don't vibe with that energy. Whatever spirit was possessing her during that time, I don't vibe with it. Today, I'm having trouble understanding whether I can move forward, continuing to trust my adopted sister the way that I have been, being that she's one of the few, maybe one of two people that I actually still communicate with from my family, and that's on a rare basis, and that's not even very regularly. And here I am catching signs and signals that, nah, love, you gotta let that go too. And why? Because there's been shit passed on. That's why it's important to protect children, for real. For real, for real. Like, and it's important to understand what's going on spiritually and break down these walls of religion, because I feel like they really just hiding the truth of what people are really doing spiritually to other people, and really affecting people mentally and emotionally and physically. There are people here who know that they're here for certain purposes that taking them straight to wherever that most of us don't want to go spiritually, and they just well, shit, I'm going, so I'm taking as many of y'all with me as I can, or making as many people miserable as possible as I can before I go, instead of just going. I don't know, but that ain't my team. I'm sorry, but I'm not on that team, and I'm not for that team, and I ain't making no excuses for that team, for real, because that's something that you need to go talk to and deal with the divine, with Father God and Mother Goddess, both of them, and all the angels, on your own, in a whole conference room by yourself with them, because we got too much work out here to do to be dealing with that. We got to heal the people who's been affected by that type of shit. And I'm saying this after being triggered by my friend texting me, because I realized like how much we've both been affected by this type of shit. How much we've both been affected, and yet there's been this love that is undeniable. Undeniable. I used to think, that's why it's hard for me to trust even this friend sometimes, because there's somebody else who, it's too many similarities, right? It's been too many similarities, and this other person I've tried to get away from and stay away from multiple times over several years. So now with this friend coming through, and I'm like, oh shit, it is another, I'm not done with this cycle yet. What's going on? And now I realize that person is a whole fucking sorcerer. And that's why now I'm like, we gotta do away with, we gotta be careful what we put in our bodies. We must be careful. I was just sitting in the office today learning about some medications that I now qualify for due to my mental health diagnoses and stuff like that. And keep it real. with all of the instances of depression, all that over the years, and then having a serious bout recently again, and then just like, oh gosh, like I just need a psych eval. Like I need a psychiatric evaluation. Like I never had one, always done therapy on and off. Never had a psychiatric evaluation. Like when I was younger, I used to tell my adopted mom sometimes like, hey, dang man, sometimes I feel like I'm bipolar. And she'd be like, well, you know they got medication for that. Like that's what she would say. I never got tested or nothing like that, but I'm grateful now because I see how quick they will give you medication. Like, I used to take ibuprofen for migraines that I used to get a lot in high school, but now I kind of realize a little bit more of why I was having those migraines and those headaches. These days I have minor headaches. I've been having them almost nightly. But every time one comes on, it's pretty brief, and I hear in my head crowning, crowning, crowning. Growth pains, y'all. Like, and I stopped taking medication for my headaches a long time ago because I started to realize, like, now it's a spiritual component to it now. But before, I'm like, okay, well, I'm eating something, the wrong thing, too much sugar. Oh my gosh. When I cleared my body of sugar for the first time after going without sugar for a long time, and I started back drinking sugary drinks and stuff, and it was like I couldn't get through nowhere near half of them drinks. And I used to take them things back. Brisk iced teas, ooh, sugar coffees, sugar iced coffees. Yeah. And then I was like away from the sugar for a while and started back trying to drink them things and hit with the worst headaches like almost instantaneously. So to this day I don't really consume a lot of sugar no more, but it's like I start to realize like there are so many more factors to why we get sick, why we feel ill and pains and aches. You don't always gotta pop a pill. Maybe you just gotta quit something else. So today was so significant because I had a psych evaluation, and then but I already was previously recently diagnosed with major depressive disorder, right? So of course they then prescribed me antidepressants. No, I didn't take any. um I'm too much into a serious space of my spiritual journey to start taking pills. And my PCP that I finally got, it told me as well, like, I would think you come all this. He wasn't the one who prescribed me, it was somebody else. But before I got the prescription, I visited him, and he's like, which mind you, I don't even usually like to frequent the doctor. I had to go because of work, and I'm sick, so I gotta go. So it forced me, and now I know Spirit wanted me in these places to learn the information that I have been picking up, which connects to information that I was getting downloads for years ago. But now I have this PCP, and he's like, well, it's you you haven't been taking anything all this time. I probably wouldn't start now. And I'm like, I hear you, you know. And then I'm back home making more progression in my spiritual journey in this very rough phase, and then get back to the psychiatric place and get the diagnosis, get the prescription. Okay, yeah, sure. You don't have to pick them up, right? So then I get back, and so at this point, it's about work. Like I know I was missing work for a reason. I need documentation to prove this. So what else is going on? What else? What other kind of support can I get besides, a diagnosis and medication? Like, and so I agreed to listen to the different medications that would be possible or available to me now. And so I'm listening to the descriptions and the possible side effects. And I'm like, in my head and in my spirit, because obviously spirit came on through, like, activate, listen up. This is important. I hear something about, it's all these different side effects that to me, it's like, this shit sounds like the shit that I would be taking the pills for. You're describing side effects. We talking about different medications that's for, in a general sense, depression, anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, all that. And you're describing shit, side effects. I'm like, well, that sounds like anxiety, like tics and that's what happens when you're anxious, when you anxiety. What do you mean? Oh goodness, it was just so much. But the one that stood out the most, me being somebody who's highly sensitive and really cares, and sometimes I feel like to a fault. Uh, but I've learned now it's not to a fault. It's just a matter of just being without more people like me around me who also cares as much, you know. So it's not to a fault to care so much. It's just when you are not supported in that way of caring, and it becomes very hard to like take care of something, especially if you're a part of a group and it requires multiple hands, multiple attention, multiple eyes of attention, focuses of attention for multiple people, and everybody in the group doesn't care. Maybe just one person or two people care, and we need more people to care. We need more care. And one of the things that she described as a side effect was numbing of one of the medications that is mostly provided, that she would mostly provide. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying nothing, no. But she said like a numbing. Numbing? Desensitization. I hate when I can't say some words. But you know what I mean. When you sensitive to something, now you're not. So numbing. She's like, yeah, like a numbing. So you mean, and I didn't ask no questions. I'm just taking it all in because I hear her. I hear you clearly. So people aren't feeling. People are being turned into robots for real. And who knows what's that being coupled with? You got people smoking, medication, drinking, and medication. All other types of shit. Shots of all different types of shit, right? Food. They fucking us up. I didn't think I was going to talk about this so soon, but then I got my text from my friend and immediately record. I said record. This is when you record. You got your phone. You ain't got to have no setup. Just pick up your phone, start talking. And now this is all this stuff was already on my mind because I promise y'all years back, I got downloads regarding medication. And this is a big deal. It makes the world go round. It makes the world go round. There are many people I've been like mad at or just, like feeling defensive with. And left and right, I'm realizing these are folks affected mentally, and then they take a medication, and then who knows what else is going on then in the spiritual sense. Cause that's just the physical. I was sitting here early. I'm like, it's the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm to get somebody fucked up for real. You got the people who are the pawns. Somebody said, keep talking. Okay. You got the people who are the pawns. You got the systems. Yes, the non-spiritual systems that are the providers. The people are the pawns. You got the systems as the providers, right? So you got that there. But then you got money, you got profit, right? That can occur between the pawns and the providers. Are the pawns and the power. Yeah, the pawns and the power. And then you got spiritual, you got entities, spiritual entities, extra forces, unseen, that have mysterious, unseen influence, right? Because we sleep. What's going on when you sleep? When you're drunk, when you're high, when you know, all types of stuff. When you're having sex, literally, like all of it. When we're in these states of being where we're not all the way in control of ourselves for real. What's going on entity wise? So you got this perfect storm, this pawns, this power. Or I'ma say these pawns, the providers, the power. Pawns, provider, power. The power, I'm going to put that as the entities for real. Okay? So then it becomes like a tunnel or something, like the information comes down from the power into the providers into the pawns. But the way it gets from providers to pawns and it keeps on going like a loop is because then you got currency and you got money and you got profit and prosperity. So these providers pump down whatever they want or whatever the powers want them to pump down into the pawns in order for the providers to get paid, because they gonna get paid and they've been promised by the providers been promised by the powers to be paid as long as they prey on the pawns the way that the powers want them to, the way that the providers promise to do so, pledge to do so in order to be paid, prosper, make a profit. The pawns being sick and dying and fighting and confused and angry and don't have no type of understanding of which way to really for real direct that anger and what to do with it. But it's cool because times are changing, and that's exactly what an age in the heart is here for, because that energy don't gotta go the way it's been going. It don't gotta be that way. It don't have to be that way. None of it has to be this way. I just thought of Lauryn Hill. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. Something said, but it shall be. It shall be. Because Mother Earth cries out, and Mother Goddess is in full effect, and Father God is in position, and the angels and the legions of angels and demons on the side of love are activated. We're activated. And so I'm so grateful for that, because it can be disheartening sometimes, but I have been keeping faith and been being made to feel so strong through all this. And so for my friend, this is the only person through all this turmoil that's been going on spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and yes, being reflected in the physical here and there. This is the only friend that I've said, I forgive you. You're forgiven and please. This is the only friend that I've utilized my spiritual gift, one of my newfound or realized or more taken spiritual gifts I'm taking more seriously now. It's the only friend who I've felt like I could not hold back on sharing information with, as some channeled messages coming through for him and for his assistance, while still keeping myself apart and separate, so as to not have him distracted by me and not to have me distracted by him. But it was a point where I'm like, well, he reached out, so then I'm like, okay, yeah, I still got to maintain my distance. I'm not ready yet. It's not time yet. But before you go, this is coming through me for you. And I care for real. So I'm going to share it with you. And you take it how you want because you're an individual. But I'm going to share this with you. And I still feel like the messages I shared are true. And this is the only person who I've called during all this time. The only person I've picked up the phone to call outside of these businesses, I'm talking about friends or people, only person I felt the need to call and really be like, are you okay? I want to know, I need to know that you're okay. And so then the only person as well that I've gotten this message from that really just shot straight to my heart and means a lot to me. So that happened, and then like make the record. Everybody always want to record shit these days. It's like, record something that'll help us for real. There are forces that don't want this type of energy existing in this world no more. Hence the medications, hence the drugged up foods, hence the illusions of other things that, oh, this is good for you. It's good for you. It'll help you here. Like a little carrot. Bait. Trying to bait you. I've been through that so many times. But I'm called to speak. All I gotta do is speak. If I'm willing to open my mouth and speak, the divine will give me the messages that I need to share. And I'm gonna do that because I feel for this shit for real. I feel strongly about all this for real. And so much more. So it won't be stopped. I won't stop. Because the divine says there's no stopping. At this point, we're moving all the way ahead because there is love to be had. There are so many people out here who need love. Don't nobody care about your pockets no more. Don't nobody care about your profits, your prosperity, what you making and not making or losing. Nobody care. There's love to be had. There are children who need to be loved. There are people who need to be loved. There's people in higher positions who don't want to get out of their seats. You have to. That's the way life works. It's the cycle of life. You can't stay in your seat of power, your position forever. It don't work that way. You're going to have to move out of the way. So why not, in terms of you preying on the pawns of this system, this paradigm, which ain't going to be lasting for too much longer. I'm trying to tell you, Jesus already said it in the Bible, the first shall be last, and last shall be first. The warnings have been there, but so many of you just don't want to accept the truth. I don't understand that part. You'll get up in the pulpit real quick for the sake of your own profit, saying shit for the sake of your own profit before you actually admit to the truth, thinking that you can't be struck down. I told y'all I saw a bolt of lightning come down from the sky, hit the ground over there by the hospital. Actually, yeah. Because now, when I put it all together, before I wasn't really as open into sharing where I'm at, but not far from me, near a hospital. I saw it. It was very close. You think that shit can't happen to you? Divine said it's cool because it shall and it will. People will see. People shall see. This ain't nothing to play with. Get out of the way. Those of you sitting in seats of position and power, get out of the way because the divine is working, because there are future generations that are coming up after you that have nothing to do with you. People be thinking there to be immortal. And yes, your spirit shall never die. It shall be still experiencing shit, good, bad, whatever. But physically, love, you're not meant to be here forever. Physically, you as a person on this earth is not meant to be here forever. There are others coming up after you. So they must be fed. They must be nourished in order to get into those positions, because you're going to move on, and then there's going to have to be somebody else to fill them. That's just the way it goes. So why not at a certain phase in your life, why not just start being like, okay, I'm a mentor now, because I know my time here is running short, because that's just the way life works. So how about I do something meaningful? I mentor the youth coming up, the younger people coming up. But nah, you know what I've been seeing, man? I've been seeing people at the top manipulating shit to keep the people beneath them just in chaos. Not teaching them for real how to hold a job for real, how to maintain a job for real, how to take care of themselves for real, how to manage their money for real. Nah. You got young people losing jobs that they really just don't know how to keep. They really just don't know how to maintain. And this is confirmation for me in terms of what's next for me in my career journey and my work journey. But I care about that shit, because it's like expelling a kid from school for failing the test that you never taught him about. You never taught him. You never gave him the lessons, but you expel him. Or, I can go on and on and on. But this been my heart. I just want y'all to know, this been my heart from day one since I was younger. This been my heart. My heart always been this way. It's just a matter of now I know why on the spiritual scale, on the spiritual level, and I still care. And I care even more this day. And ain't nobody numbing me. I'm thankful for my relationship with the divine and obedience, because I feel like even doing what I did earlier, feeling called to make a video talking about my gratitude and expressing that, and not just expressing it by myself, but putting it out there, that was being obedient. So then I was able to now clear up channels. It's not just about being rewarded and getting good karma. It's about clearing up channels. It's like riverways and yeah, like rivers. You gotta clear up the river so the water can flow. Move the obstacles, the dams out of the way, so shit can flow for real. That's how you clean out rivers. You let the water flow. Pipes, you let the water flow. So you gotta let that shit out. And then what I was able to do was open up my channels to receive something that I guess I feel I really needed. It's just a gesture of sincere love for real, from somebody that I love for real. So yeah, I care. And no longer will I say I care to a fault. I ain't saying that no more. What's her name? God, what's her name? I remember I was one of the first people on to her, and then she became a big superstar. Dang it, start with an A. I think her initials is AC. She said, "You don't have to change a thing. The world can change its heart." I think she said, "No scars to your beautiful, no scars to." Basically, you don't have to change a thing. The world can change its heart. its heart. You don't have to change a thing. The world can change its heart. Basically meaning you don't have to care less. We need more care. Alright, y'all. So I feel like I'm done now with this video. Yep. I'm gonna just continue processing my emotions about this because it's a really big deal for me, and I realize now even more regarding my purpose. Speak. Yeah. In my head, I just feel like shit just got real. But there's so much, y'all. So much that's coming up as realizations to the surface for me, and let's just keep love first. Let's just keep love on top, because that's the real target. That's the real target. Yeah. It ain't necessarily, oh yeah, get her, Antoinette Lotus, get her, get him. It's love is the target. Love is the target. Yeah, heart is the target. So if that's your vibe, that's your energy, so then thus, yes, that makes you a target. If you got that energy, that vibe going with somebody, yes, that bond, that connection, that becomes a target. Yeah. I hate it. I hate that it's that way, but it's cool. It's cool. It is what it is. So it is what it is. I'll be back on shortly, if not later tonight, tomorrow. Thank y'all for listening.